Hello, Force viewers. Welcome to my non-spoiler review for Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. So I watched it yesterday with my cousin on the second day of release in my country. It released on Wednesday, and I watched it on Thursday night. So the movie is about 2 hours and 22 minutes long. I'm not sure if that includes the credits or not. And it's directed by J.J. Abrams. Okay, so he also directed The Force Awakens, and then there was another director who directed The Last Jedi. Can't remember his name correctly. So just a recap on the previous Star Wars movies by Disney. In terms of the sequel, I liked The Force Awakens, and I wasn't really a fan of The Last Jedi, but it was okay for me. So I don't hate any of the Star Wars movies by Disney. I really enjoyed Rogue One. I haven't watched Solo yet. I have it. I just haven't watched it yet, so I'll get to that soon. But right now, I think for me the best is Rogue One. Until that was my best. That was my favorite Star Wars movie by Disney until I watched Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Now I'm not sure which one to choose from. Okay, so anyway, so the Rise of Skywalker. This is a non-spoiler review. I'm gonna try and make this uncut. That means I don't really want to edit this, so I'm trying to make this uncut and unscripted. So let's just get into it. Okay, so what did I think about Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker? Okay, so we'll start with the plot first. Okay, so the flaw of the movie is pretty well done. I think that there wasn't any dull moments. It was well paced, and I think that whatever like the each scene occurs, it occurs like in a very well edited manner, meaning that it doesn't just happen abruptly or just out of the blue. This happens, then something else happens. I think it was well made and well paced. Okay, so in terms of the plot, I think that as I was watching the movie, it somehow reminded me of Return of the Jedi. Not because it's the third movie in the sequel in the series, just because I don't know. I just have a feeling that it just reminds me of Return of the Jedi. And when I look at the plot like as a whole, it doesn't really match up to Return of the Jedi. But I just had that feeling. Okay, so that's besides the point. Okay, so in terms of the plot, I think that it was okay. I didn't think that it was spectacular, and I certainly do not hate it, because I actually enjoyed this movie, and there was a lot of things happened, good and bad things. I liked, things I didn't really like, but I enjoyed the movie as a whole. Basically, I enjoyed my time there, and I think that as a whole, I would watch it again. Though I'm not sure if I'll be watching it in cinemas. Maybe I'll just wait for it to come out on Blu-ray or something. Okay, so before I start saying anything else, I just like to say that this movie had a lot of promotion and marketing. Like, there's a lot of trailers, there are a lot of TV spots and all that. I really don't like that for, I think, any movie, because Marvel did it. I think the Justice League did it, and now Star Wars has been doing that a lot. I really don't like that, because it's like they're trying to overhype the movie. When I first heard this movie is gonna come out, I didn't really like think much of it. I think, okay, this is a new Star Wars movie. I didn't really think what was gonna happen. I didn't have any theories as much. I just there are some things I like to happen, but nothing in particular, or nothing too important to the plot that I really want to happen. But like, there's so much like trailers and stuff. I really don't like that, because okay, now that I've watched the movie, when I look back at the TV spots in the trailer, I didn't watch all of them. I only watched the trailers, and then like only one or two TV spots. But that's it. I think there are like 5 TV spots. I think they keep releasing them, and it's sort of annoying and irritating to me, because, well, after watching the movie, I was like, okay, the TV spots didn't reveal too much about the movie, but it reveals stuff nonetheless. Like, Avengers Infinity War had a lot of TV spots, and if you piece them all together with the trailers, there's sort of like, it's like watching the movie just in pieces, and just a few things that they didn't put in, like, for example, Loki's death or Thanos snapping his fingers. That's basically it. But aside from that, you basically have the plot of Infinity War in pieces. All right. Okay, so what did I think of the movie? Okay, well, first of all, in terms of the title, I didn't really like. I found like the title. They should change the title. I mean, they didn't have to call it The Rise of Skywalker. Not because of what happened in the movies, because I thought like it's too like a too direct thing. Like, okay, like The Last Jedi, we all thought it was gonna be Luke. Turns out it could have been Rey or something. Like, if you remember, like in the original trilogy, they have Star Wars: A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Okay, Empire Strikes Back, they strike back in many ways, not just of the Hoth battle or something, or Darth Vader versus Luke or something. They had like a lot of things. So when you watch that entire movie, and then oh yeah, that movie deserves the title Empire Strikes Back. But and like Return of the Jedi, we all thought it was Luke, but it turns out it's actually Anakin Skywalker. He came back from being Darth Vader back to Anakin. He returned to the light side. So they have like a if you can understand, like the titles are vague. Like this one, The Rise of Skywalker, I feel like it's too direct. But like, well, after watching the movie, I was like, okay, I guess that title is okay, but I think they could have done better with the title. So there was a few things I wanted in this movie. In particular, I wanted like an explanation for Snoke. Like, who is he? Like, he just appeared out of nowhere in the sequels. Like, we have no backstory of who he is. Now we sort of get that explanation, albeit brief. It wasn't that long. I think it was like, I think let's see, like 1 or 2 lines or something. But like, it sort of explains Snoke basically. And okay, now we have the return of Palpatine, the Emperor. What do I think of that? Okay, I don't want to talk too much about him because I think I'm afraid I might reveal too much. So I'm just gonna keep it brief. So in terms of the Emperor, I feel like he didn't have to come back, because if you think about it now, the main villain of the whole 9 Star Wars movies is basically Palpatine. Yes, we had Darth Vader. Yes, we had like Darth Maul and other villains, but like Darth Sidious was like the top-notch villain. Like, if you put a pyramid, he's always the top. He's like the one pulling the strings and stuff. Yes, we had Darth Vader. He's probably like secondary and stuff, but Darth Sidious was always the main villain that we would end up that the heroes would end up facing. And now that he's back, so it's like, all right, okay, we're gonna get Palpatine again. So like, I have nothing against Palpatine. I like Palpatine as a character, but I feel like I think his character should have ended in the Return of the Jedi, and that's it. He shouldn't have come back. Whether his spirit is alive or something, that's another issue. But I prefer that he just stayed dead. He wasn't part. I wish he wasn't part of these movies anymore. So having him come back, I was sort of concerned how they were gonna play that out. Don't get me wrong. I really love the way the actors reprise their roles, like Luke, Leia, and Han Solo, and everybody else. I really have to give credit to the actors because they did a phenomenal job. The last time they acted as these characters were like 40 years ago, I think. So for them to come back and reprise these roles and then do it next to perfect is really satisfying to me. I have to give them credit, and I think they are very phenomenal actors. So I think the comedy in this movie is very good. Like from everybody, like CCPO, the other characters. I think everybody, like in terms of the way the humor is played out, it's very well done. There wasn't like any funny moments where I thought I was like, that wasn't really necessary. I mean, like, they were unexpected, so I didn't really expect a laugh at this point, because it's a serious moment or something. But like when they did the humor and comedy is well done in this movie. Okay, so like I said, okay, I don't want to talk too much about Palpatine. It's just that I didn't really like. I was just concerned about what they were gonna do with this character. I'm glad that when I saw the movie, the way his character played out, okay, it was good. If you're gonna ask me if I'm gonna be shocked or something, it's like not really. But I think that when I was watching the movie, I was like, yeah, that's Palpatine basically. Okay, so that's it. So now we're gonna go on to the characters. So we'll start off with the sequel characters, the characters introduced in the sequels, like Poe, Rey, Finn, Kylo Ren. Okay, so the way the movie concluded the story and how these characters are going to end up, or what they're going to do and stuff, I think that all in all is quite good. Like I said, the actors are phenomenal. I have nothing against the actors. The actors are all good. I think that Adam Driver is a good actor as Kylo Ren. Same with Rey. Daisy Ridley is also a phenomenal actor. People hate the characters, but I don't. Is that okay? There are some things I didn't like about some of these characters, but like, I have nothing against the actors. Literally, if I have something against the characters, I just dislike the character. I have nothing against the actors or the actresses. So I think that once after The Rise of Skywalker I watched, I was like, yeah, these characters, okay. So there were a few characters that I felt like the way they concluded was a bit unsatisfactory. It's like, and I think the movie sort of like wants us to just accept that. I was like, okay, that's how you want to that's how you want to conclude the character arcs. So I was like, okay, it's fine, but like, it feels a bit lazy to me if you ask me, just a bit lazy. Then yeah, just a few characters, not all of them. I think like the main characters, I think the way they concluded was good. Okay, so now the way the movie is made. Okay, I like to talk about the visuals. The visuals are amazing, and the action scenes are good. Some were a bit like unnecessary. So some action scenes I felt like there weren't really any stakes, because I was just watching it, was like, oh, this is well made. The visuals are the good. The way the action is going, but like when you're watching it, it feels like, okay, it doesn't really have any impact on the story. So if the story didn't have the action scenes in it, it doesn't really affect the story as a whole. So there's just one or two, not really many. So like I said, the VFX visuals are great. I think the movie producers and those who edited this film did a good job. There weren't really any issues like with CGI or anything. Although I didn't realize this actually. Since the passing of Carrie Fisher a few years ago, I think. So we still have a character which is alive in this film. So when they used Leia in any of the scenes, actually, I just realized this. After watching the movie, a few people, I just watched a few videos. They said that actually they had to use like we had to use recycled footage, and few scenes that were cut from The Force Awakens that they didn't use, or a few shots. So I didn't realize that. So when I was watching the movie, I was like, oh, okay. I thought Carrie Fisher actually had time to do all her parts. And when I watched this film, I think she did the important ones, but some of the ones that she didn't get to do in time, they were like taken from The Force Awakens or any other of the films, and then just put in this movie. So, but I have to say, it's much better the way it's done than Rogue One. Rogue One, the CGI version of Leia, I wasn't really like on board with that. Luckily, that was at the end of the film, and not she didn't really have any impact in the movie as a whole. So that's good. So I think that for the fact that I didn't notice that, though I did feel like there's something off about it, but I didn't really notice it. I didn't think that, oh, this is actually recycled footage or anything. So that's good. So I thought like, okay, the way that Carrie Fisher's character, Princess Leia, or General Leia in this case, was done, I think it was okay, and it was good. And any other characters like Chewbacca and stuff, I think that the way their characters are concluded in the end of the Rise of Skywalker is pretty good for me. Also, like, I like to talk about the music. I think like either they reused the music, or the music is like a remastered version of it. They used a lot of the music from like the prequels and the original trilogy. So if I think about this movie's score, it doesn't really feel original. It feels like, yeah, they're using like that scene, that music from this scene in the other movies and stuff. So like, okay, like Kylo Ren's theme is unique and stuff. So when you hear his theme, yeah, that's it. But like, there's a lot of music they did take from the original trilogies and the prequels. Okay, so I felt like the movie should have had more soundtracks, like unique ones, not like taken from other movies. So I felt like it should have had its own, I guess. Because this movie also has like a lot of callbacks to the previous movies. Like, I think it was okay, but I think I found some a bit unnecessary. But it's not like I didn't like them. It's like, okay, it's included, then that's it. But other people did not like that there were so many callbacks. But I personally thought that it was okay, but sometimes it's a bit unnecessary. That's all I like to say about that. So what else do I have to say? Okay, personally, I enjoyed the film. I gave it an 8.4 out of 10. So when I look at the movie itself, I'm like, okay, I enjoyed this movie. I liked it. I didn't really think it's spectacular, but out of the three films three films in the sequels, I think The Rise of Skywalker, I think I liked most. The Force Awakens I liked because while it does remind me a lot of Episode 4, A New Hope, it has potential. So when you watch that movie, you feel like, yeah, this movie could like make an expanded lore, for example. So when I watch The Force Awakens, I occasionally get bored, but when I watch it, I was like, yeah, I mean, like, I enjoyed it, but The Last Jedi, can't really take anything from that. But from The Rise of Skywalker, I feel like whatever, there weren't really any plot holes or anything. I didn't really find any plot holes. There were a few flaws in the movie that I just didn't really like, and there were just a few things that I wished that were in the movie, but that didn't happen and stuff. But I think that's because that's something I like to see, not what the movie should have. So yeah, as I said, I give it an 8.4 out of 10. I don't find it spectacular, but I don't hate it either. I think like it's definitely, for me, it's definitely a good movie. But yeah, I think that in terms of the last movie for the Rise of Skywalker, the last movie out of the series, I think it was good. The way they capped off everything, I think they didn't really leave anything like they didn't really leave anything mysterious that we have left to wonder. We do have, like, at the end of the movies sometimes we like to see what will happen next, where will these characters go after this, but like, yeah, I don't really have anything. When I was watching it, I was like, yeah, that's a conclusion. I don't really have any thoughts about that. No additional questions, just a few, but nothing important. Yeah, I just enjoyed it. If you ask me, would I watch it again? Like I said, that if I don't mind if I don't watch it again, because I think watching it once I was pretty satisfied with it already. But like, if I were to go watch it again, I wouldn't mind, but I wouldn't just watch it personally by myself. Just go out and just watch it again. Either I'll go with some friends or something. So we'll see how that goes. But so that's all I have to say for this review. And if I missed anything, I would put in the spoiler review if I'm gonna do one. So I want to give some gap between talking about spoilers. So since the movie just released, I'll give it like a week or maybe 2 weeks. So we'll see if I'm gonna do it. If I'm not gonna do it, then I'm not gonna do it. But as long as I get this non-spoiler review up, it's fine basically. So that's all I have to say about this review. I hope you enjoy. I hope you find it informative. I hope you enjoy the movie. And any advice? I would just say that just don't get your hopes up too high with what you think might happen, because I think that in this movie there is a few unexpected things that happen. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching this review. I hope you have a good day, take care, and I'll see you later. May the force be with you. Bye.